Poems to read to young New Zealanders. Drawings by Claire Bowes. These are some lovely forest nymphs dancing. Bit of creativity by my son here. So this is a lovely old New Zealand book. 1974 it was published. The first one I'm going to read is Rain. Rain. When I go walking out in town, I lift my umbrella as the rain comes down. I pull on my gumboots and I button up my coat. When the gutter's like a river, I play there with my boat. Though the cats run inside and the little dogs huddle, I go splash, splash through the biggest puddle. Till over the hill flies the rain and the storm, and I open my coat as the sun shines warm. By J.K. Baxter. Wolfie, do you want to say something? Be in the video? Are YouTube famous? What do you want to say? What one should we read next? Little Mr. Mushroom? You like this one? Mushroom. Good boy. Little Mr. Mushroom. Little Mr. Mushroom underneath a tree. I look at you and you look at me. You grow from the grass in a single night with your round, round hat and your head so white. You have no hands or feet to run. You stand and blink at the morning sun. Little Mr. Mushroom, what would I do if you were I and I were you?
La.
That's the one with the ladder. If I were a snail. The shell's on her back. If I were a snail, I'd carry my home on top of my back when I wanted to roam. And if, on my journey, it started to rain, I'd be dry inside till the sun shone again. Eagle, my son says. Seagull is what he's saying. Good. If I were a snail, I'd walk on one foot and not have to bother to tie up my boot. I'd eat all the lettuce and leave a bright trail where I walked on the pathway if I were a snail. Just a couple more. Colours. They're all so lovely. Nice New Zealand Christmas there on the beach. New Zealand Christmas tree. Colours. Blue is for thought and velvet. And sky. Blue is for ink and you when you die. Blue is for roads and the ball of your eye. Blue is sad, the shade of your tears when you cry. Red is for panic and lips and tomatoes. Red is for trucks and a whistle that blows. Red is for roses and places where everyone goes. Red is noisy, the shade of an old man's nose. Yellow is for crops and the sun turning gold. My son's favourite colour. Yellow is for toffee and nothing that is old. Yellow is for winks and boys who are bold. Yellow is warm, too hot to hold. Green is for grass and ill people's faces. Green is for leaves and us running races. Green is for money and knotted shoelaces. Green is enchanting, the shade of cool places. Sorry, I forgot to credit the last author. Judy Henderson is this one. And we have Margaret Mayhew here, who's written Christmas Day. Our Christmas Day is blue and gold and warm. Our Christmas night. Blue for the colour of Mary's cloak, soft in the candle light. Gold for the glow of the Christmas star that shone serene and bright. Warm for the love of the little babe, safe in the oxen stall. We know our Christmas by these signs, and yet around my wall, on Christmas cards, the whole holly gleams and snowflakes coldly fall. And robins I have never seen pipe out a Christmas call. Yeah, he's looking at the little caterpillar. You've got glasses too. The gardener. I know a gardening man who grows red roses and catches the caterpillars by their noses. He lifts up the beetles that eat his carrots and takes them along to the zoo to feed the parrots.
Me. Bummy. Bummy. Bummy.
Oh, this is one of my favourite ones.
Bummy.
The Little Blue Man. There's a little blue man like a piece of sky who walks around our house selling hot sun pies. They're runny with honey. He stole from the bees and shiny bee stings stick out of his knees. He sells them as needles to little... Just a bit of disruption there from Orpheus. Okay, so he sells them as needles to little blue wives, there they are, who live in the clouds, baking steamy sun pies. Okay, the last one, James K. Baxter, what I like to call famous New Zealand poet. The ships. The little ships from the harbour sail, bang in the teeth of a southerly gale. The great white waves wash to and fro, drum, 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 say the engines below.